Hello, 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 crafty friends. How are you today? Hi, Alice, Mary, Alice and Mary, and Mary and Alice. Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello. Can you hear me, guys? Hello. Ah, there's Betty. Hi. Oh, Betty, I'm sorry your supplies didn't get there yet, but we will get them to you post haste. They probably will be coming in anytime. I can see and hear you now. Hi, Daria. Welcome, welcome. I'm sorry, Betty. Darn it. We try. We're going to make this easier for you because we are just about to list the next, Brittany, about 5 or 6 classes. So you will have an opportunity to order them in plenty of time to get them. I have been working my socks off on the new Craftiganza stuff. I'm sorry we don't have picture-in-picture today because the computer is being pesky and it just won't link up, so we're going to have to reinstall the software, but that's not something you want to do right before you go live, so we'll do it anyway. Mary Robinson said, hi, Brittany. Say hi to Margie, too. Margie's here.
Hi.
And let's go ahead and get going because we have a lot to do. Let's start, if we can, by bringing in our samples. Oh, here we go. Yeah. My screen is a lot smaller, so I can't necessarily see what they see, but you'll keep me straight, right? Okay. And I think we want to go just ever so slightly higher this time with the camera, Margie, because I noticed in the playback I was going off camera a lot. And Teddy is here somewhere. He may have gone. Oh, nope, he's right here by my feet. So Ted's right here too. So we are all here. The gang's all here. Hi, Brenda. Welcome, welcome. Okay, we may have some new friends joining us today. I've talked to a couple of new ladies that I hope will be able to sign in and join us. So we have 2 projects for today. I actually have 3 cards done from this kit. I'll show you all 3 of them and then we'll get started and get going. I'm kind of stalling a little, as you can tell. I always try and give people a minute to get signed in. We've got the beautiful hot air balloon card that we're doing. This is a stepper. It's a 5x7 stepper card, and it's got focus on the journey, not the destination inside, because I thought that was fun. And the other one we're doing today, we'll actually do this one first, is the sloth. Love me, the sloth. It's so cute. My daughter already claimed it and said, you can send it to me late so that I get that card for my birthday. So just plan on sending me that card for my birthday, Mom. So just plan on being late, she said. And
does that mean the present too?
I don't know. I think she's probably going to want her present on time. Oh, Fiona's out there. Hello, Miss Fiona. Thank you for joining us. I'm so happy that you're here with Grandma. That is wonderful. And I love having you with us. So our next generation of crafters is represented here with Miss Fiona. That is great. And here's our 3rd card that I made just for fun because these are just too fun to not stamp extras. I also have a llama I'm working on, but I needed to stop working on my fun animal cards and start working on Craftiganza. I think you'll be pleased when you see what we're coming up with. Okay, I think we should get started, don't you guys? Let's get going. I am first going to, let me show you what you get in your kit. You're getting this wonderful, this is from PinkFresh. It's called Detail Black, and it is a hybrid Inkpad. I had not tried this one before. I ordered these, and I'm truly impressed with this little thing. The hybrid ink is good with our watercolors that we're using today. it doesn't run from the water, and they also claim that you can use the same cube with alcohol ink, so we'll check that out too. But that's our ink for today, as well as if you want to have your other colors handy, we are going to use our greens. The greens I have may be slightly different from the greens you have, but the ones I have out here are my apple green, my evergreen, and my rainforest. These are not in your kit today. These are from prior kits. So if you don't have those, put those on your shopping list. And I'm also, because we're going to be stamping some sky, we need to have some nice colors for our sky. So I've got the periwinkle blue, I've got the nautical blue, and I've got the mauve moment. Again, these are from our prior kits. Hello, Kathy Schutenheim. Welcome, 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 friend. All right, and other components of your kit. I kind of got distracted. You got the ink pad, you got your stamping card as usual, you got your card blanks, 2 specialty cards today. You got your stamping magazine, which I gotta tell you guys, this is just the coolest kit today. You got the magazine with, I don't know, it says 58 all occasion cards, and I believe there's probably at least 50 of those that are related to the stamp sets in this kit. They're just amazing. Wonderful, wonderful. I went ahead, well, Margie went ahead and printed off some of the other freebies you get with the kit. There's a template to make your own cards, your own specialty cards. Here's a center step card template. This one is a different form of stepper card. Here is another template. Here are the specialty papers that you can download and print for free. So look at all these. We're actually going to use this one today. I printed and included these in your kit. Just the one. You didn't miss anything if you didn't get the rest of them. I only gave you the one we're going to use today. But all of these papers, you can go in through a link in your magazine and get all these papers for free. Just the cost of your ink. I think we've talked about HP Ink program. If we haven't and anybody has questions about that, we can go over that again. But you get the magazine with all the freebies. You get 2 magnificent stamp sets. Yours will not have the little yellow on them because those are my masks that I made. But you get 2 A4 stamp sets. These sell separately for like $22, $23 a piece. Your kit for this class is $25. You get the magazine, both of these, the ink pad, the cube, the specialty cards, your working papers. Holy cow, it's a good deal. Did I download the papers on copy paper or cardstock? I did them on cardstock. Yeah, you can get some really good cardstock. What do we call that, Margie? Can you pull that and we'll tell them what we get for cardstock? I got it on Amazon.
Yeah, it's an 80-pound.
It's an 80-pound cardstock. And Margie's going to look that up. I'll tell you what it is I actually used. Daria, you're using the HP Ink program. I have that now, and I totally love the fact that I don't have to replace my ink cartridges. Under HP Ink, you pay for the number of pages you're using, not for the ink cartridges. So you can use as much ink as you want on the pages, and then it connects to the internet, and when your printer's running out of ink, it tells HP and they send you the cartridges for free.
It's just in your system. 110 pounds.
Okay, this is what we're using for our cardstock. This is 110 pound, which is roughly the equivalent of a sheet of Adorable Scoreable, actually. 110 cardstock is equal to 300 GSM. And I get this on Amazon at a pretty decent price. I can't tell you what the price is off the top of my head, but it's for a 150 sheet pack, which will last you a very long time, and it's a good deal.
And it absorbs the ink and doesn't bleed. That's why I like it.
Okay, there we go. So you got it from Archie, that it absorbs the ink, it does not bleed out, which is cool. All right. Oh, great-granddaughter. Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome. Well, Betty, I am so glad you're sharing this experience with your great-granddaughter, because what a neat thing to be able to craft with your grandma, and she will never, ever forget the things she learns from you and in watching you. So good on you. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I want to start with our sloth today. So I'm going to put in one of my 6x6 papers. And this time we are leaving the mat in our stamping because we're using clear stamps. Let me get that pack out here. And I want my sloth out of here. Now, I will tell you that these stamps, they are really, really, really stuck to this backer sheet. It makes you wonder if you're going to tear them pulling them off, but you don't. They're tough. I'm really impressed with the quality of the stamps in this kit, I have to say, because we get such clear, crisp, beautiful images. I thought with bargain stamps they might not be that great, but they are beautiful. And remember that we want our sloth to be smooth side facing you when you close your lid, so that the rough part where the ink is actually going to go is facing down. We're going to close our lid, pick up that sloth. That sounds funny. Why does that sound funny to me? Pick up the sloth. Hello, Patricia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Patricia's one of our new friends from Florida. It is so nice to see you there. You like to be Pat or Patricia? You'll have to let me know, Patricia. I think I've called you Pat, but I'm not sure that's right. So be sure you tell me which one you prefer to be called, if you would. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I was just saying a minute ago, I thought we had a couple of new friends that might be joining us today. And there you are. So yay. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to stamp my sloth. You know what's confusing with this sloth, guys? The sloth is upside down normally. I looked at that and I thought, oh, did I put him in upside down? Yes, because he's supposed to be. I need baby wipes, please, Margie. Oh, there they are. She had them right here. Now look how beautiful this image stamps, guys. I just want to show you this. Look at how gorgeous that image stamps. It is so precise and so beautiful. So one stamping, I didn't have to stamp it twice. One stamping picks up the ink just gorgeously. It's wonderful. We're going to go ahead and stamp a few leaves around him. I don't think any of the leaves we're using right now are going to go over the top of him. You can see that some of the leaves on my card will, but these have been clipped and put on with foam squares, so we don't have to mask him for this job. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to clean up. Now the nice thing is, even though this doesn't make the ink, the water-based ink bleed, it still cleans up with water. So you don't get a better deal than that. It's very clean to clean up the stamp pad. So I'm really pleased with that. While it's still wet, you can wipe it right off your stamp. So that's handy. We'll peel our sloth off and put him back on our sheet. I'm trying to be more disciplined about doing that as I go, because these clear stamps stick to anything, and I'm forever looking for them, and I find them on the bottom of my stamp platform, and I find them on my stamp pads, and I just find them everywhere. So I'm trying to be more disciplined about actually putting them where they belong. I'm going to try and put some of these little leaves in, just kind of here and there around him. But I'm not going to go over the top, so again, I won't have to mask this one. I wish they'd sent us more than one leaf. Well, they did, actually. They sent us two. So I can put another one in here and there too. So we'll put this one here. And let's go the right direction with it. I had it upside down. It would have stamped a big blob right on top of my work, and I would be very unhappy about that. So make sure your stamp is going the right direction. I think I'm going to kind of mix up my inks a little bit. First, I'm going to put on my lighter tone. Then I'm going to go back over a little bit of this with some of my deeper green. Why? Just for texture. Because it looks nice to have more than one shade, because you have lights and shadows. It won't hurt to stamp the darker color or to print the darker color over the top of the lighter one. I missed a little spot when I put my ink on, it looks like, so I'm going to go back in. Remember, the beauty of a stamp platform is that it's all going to stay right where it is, so I can add ink without messing anything up. And I still missed a spot. So I'm going to come back in. This looks like this could use a little too, doesn't it? There we go. Yeah, that's better. I'm not going to... Yeah, it might be the magnet in the way. I'm not going to spend any more time on that, though, because I'm going to cover these up anyway. I'm just kind of putting them down as an aid to helping see where stuff's going to go when I put my other branches in, so it really doesn't matter to go over them again and again. That would be counterproductive because I'm going to cut off a lot of this. Close this again. Pick up some different colors. This time I think I'm going to stamp them dark. Why? Why not? Variety. Spice of life. We'll stamp those down. And this is getting cute already, and all we're doing is just stamping around him. So if you're not making a fancy schmancy card like our center step card, center step easel we're going to make out of him, these would be really fun. Like for Fiona, this is going to be really fun for you, Fiona, just to stamp some of these guys. Just to stamp them like they are, because they're so darn cute. So let's pick up our stamps here. I didn't bother to clean them off. I should always do that. It's a good habit to get into, but I didn't do it. We'll just stamp around on our platform, and then we're going to pick up some more ink in a different color. I'm going to add a little darker here and there. There we go. I'm going to give you a closer up view of what we're doing here. Isn't it cute? He's already getting cute, guys. Of course, what's not to love about a sloth, really? What is there not to love about a sloth? You ever watch those nature shows, and the sloths sometimes are actually all covered with moss and things because the moss grows in their fur? I think they're pretty cute. My daughter is totally obsessed with sloths. She loves them. Okay, I'm going to put a little darker yet. Let's get some nice dark ink in here. Remember, as long as we're moving to a darker color, you don't have to worry about blending your inks. If you start with the lighter color and then add the darker on top of it, it's not going to hurt your dark pad to have light ink added to it. Okay, now I'm going to put in a little bit of background here. So I'm going to remove my platform for now. Well, let's wipe these off once we're done with them for the minute. Just for the moment we're done. And I think we're going to do some ink blending to make some backgrounds here. I'll put these right back on the sheet because I said that's my goal, is to be a better girl and get those put away properly today. And I'm going to put just a little bit of color behind my sloth, just because I don't want him to look really stark against the stark white. I'm going to add a little bit of blue color to that. Now I've got my blue and purple sponge available here. And the first thing I'm going to do is just make sure that I don't have any colors that are going to totally corrupt my work. And it's all pounced off pretty good, so I think that's all right. And I'm going to go into my blue, my light blue. And I don't really have to worry too much about getting too much of this super light color. But I'm just going to come in around my sloth with that. And I'm just going to add some blue, a little bit of blue sky in here. Now, could I have added this first? Yes. But if I did that, I would have to mask off for the sloth, because I don't really want my sloth to be blue. Although I am going to color over most of it. I can take my blue and run right over the top of my blue leaves, because that's not going to hurt a thing. And I'm not going to smear my ink as long as it had just seconds to dry ahead of time. I'm not going to smear my ink with my blender in my leaves. They're going to be fine. But I'm just putting in just a little bit of blue. And just see what we're doing there. We're just kind of, you can see a little bit more how much blue I have just by comparing it to the white. There's just a little bit of blue here and there, just enough to soften that white up so it's not so stark. Now, let's start coloring. I'm using my Hunkydory watercolor pencils, which are temporarily sold out. We do have more in our next, the shipment after our next. We have one that's going to arrive any day with more Christmas, believe it or not. And then we have another order that is coming in shortly that will have more of these Hunkydory rolls. I also have another brand of watercolor pencils that are slightly less expensive that are coming in. They are due in next week. So if you don't have watercolor pencils and you like what we're doing here today, I want to let you know that you'll be able to get those on our website soon. You can color these basically with anything you have, though. If you have regular colored pencils, if you have watercolors, if you have watercolor pens, if you have alcohol inks, you can color these with about anything. But I'm just going to start here by laying down some light color in my sloth. I want to have some different tones of brown in him. There's some areas where I'm going to go pretty dark in the areas that would be shady. And that's fairly easy to see on our stamp guys, because a lot of times the area where they figure it would be shaded are already darkened up a little bit to help you with your coloring. So I'm going to go with one of my lighter colors to start with. And I'm just going to start laying down a little bit of color on him. Now these colored pencils from Hunkydory are really good. They are good quality pigments. They actually, you get what they call good laydown, which means that you can go soft or light on your color. You can actually get fairly intense color with each colored pencil by pressing a little harder or going over the top. My preference is to go light initially. I almost always try and go in with my lightest color first with colored pencil work, and then I come in and darken up where I think it needs it. But see, even with a single color, as I go over this, it appears to be darker in those areas where they have put more hash lines in there. So I'm kind of sorta not being precise, but I'm kind of sorta going in the direction that his fur goes. So to the extent that you can see my pencil lines, it's kind of nice if my pencil lines are going the same direction as his fur. you don't have to spend all day doing that. You can just kind of, you know, it's a little bit hit and miss. But I like to kind of do it a little bit in the direction of his fur. And on this first one, we're using these watercolor pencils only as pencils. We're not going to put water on these at all. It doesn't mean you can't. You can if you want to, but I wanted to demonstrate the pencils a bit by showing you that you can get very different effects with the same pencils, which I think is pretty cool. It's like having two tools in one. I'm going to show you another couple tricks with our coloring as we go here. Now some areas of his face I want to be pretty light. So I'm going to go fairly light in around this area. This area here, I really kind of want to be able to see the definition in his face. So I'm going to go fairly light in that area. And then there's going to be some areas that I darken up a bit, like I'm going to darken up this part over the top. And it's really pretty fun when you're coloring to kind of experiment with the different colors a bit. I'm going to bring in one of these little more red tones. I actually kind of like this one. I think this is what I used. I wanted to see for sure what color it was. I'm going to bring in... Hello, Avis! Welcome, welcome, welcome! I'm going to bring in a little bit of red in and around his cheeks. Just for some variation in color, guys. I'm going to add a little of this red up here in and around his face, right over the top of my brown that I already put in, and you're going to see it's blending really nicely. Can you see that? Now let's come in and let's give him a little bit darker brown in some areas of his coat where he's kind of shaded. So I'm going to come in with my darker brown and just go over those just a bit in the shaded areas. There's nothing precise about this. You work until you're happy with what you have. And sometimes that doesn't take much at all to accomplish that. But see how we're getting some kind of really nice shading to him here? I'm going to get a kind of a medium brown tone and do a little more shading where I don't want it quite as dark. These pencils really do give you a nice variety of colors. We have, what, about 6 browns in this one set, which is pretty nice. I'm not going to spend all day coloring this. You can spend as much or as little time as you want. He's going to be adorable no matter how much time you spend on him. But we do have another card to get to, so while I might sit here and play with it for a while if it was just me and continue the laying down of colors, because every time you go over it, it gets a little bit more rich, don't you think? You know, every layer I'm putting on is just adding depth and texture. But he's looking pretty good, I gotta say. I'm going to give him a little light color in his face. I'm going to let him be fairly light, but I don't want any area to be totally white. And then I'm going to put a little bit more dark on his nose. Because why not? I want his face to be, this is kind of that reddish brown. Oops, didn't turn my cell phone off. Theme song from Rocky, guys. That's me. When I'm in a crowd, I never have to worry about whose phone it is ringing. Nobody else has Rocky in the crowd, usually. Although when a certain television commercial comes on, I can't tell you what they're advertising, I don't remember. But when a certain television commercial comes on, I jump for my phone. And it's not my phone, it's the commercial. So that looks pretty silly. Alrighty. Okay, let's see. I need to get my branch put in. So let's get, oh, I think we'll just use one of these medium tone browns and come in and do our branch. I think I'll do it just a little bit darker though, just to distinguish this branch from my critter. Critter's the technical term, you know. One time I was at I used to live in Spokane, Washington once upon a time, and I hadn't been there very long. And I was down in the park that goes right through the middle of town, and there's marmots there. And they are just the cutest little rodents. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful and fun little creatures, and they live in the rocks around the footbridge. And I was standing there watching the marmots and laughing at them because they're, you know, they kind of remind me of the meerkats you see. You know, they're just up and down and looking around, and they're very curious little creatures, and they think that we were on display for them. It's a little more red than I really should have, so I'm going to come in with some brown over the top of that just a little bit. Give it a little bit more texture in my branch. Anyway, I was standing there looking at them, but I didn't know what they were. And this man walked up next to me, and I said, "What are these called?" And he said marmots, but I thought he said varmints, and I laughed and asked if that was the technical name for them.
Probably thought you were.
What's that?
He probably thought that you were making fun of him.
Okay, time to trim him down, which is really hard to do. You create something that fun and that cute. It's kind of hard to trim it down, but that's exactly what we're going to do now. I'm going to, in my center stepper card, this area right here is, let me see, 6 to, by the end, 6, 5. It's just a little over 3 inches, and I've allowed a mat around that area, so I think if I cut him to 3 inches wide, that's going to get us just about where we want to be. And so I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to cut off, what I want to cut off is the end of my branch, because I don't want it to be obvious that my branch is just hanging there, not attached to anything. So I'm going to cut this off right at my branch. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to go for my 3 inches, which is going to be just about perfect. It doesn't matter that the other, it's going to be just about perfect to catch the other side of my branch. And my card is, I believe, 5 and, let's see how tall it is. The easel part is 6 inches, but I think the front is a little shorter than that. The easel part is 5.5 inches. So I'm going to go, I'm probably going to get this down to about 5 inches in total. I started with 6, so I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off the bottom to start with. And I'm going to take another 1/2 inch off the top. And that's going to get me just about where I want to be. Put him on my easel. Now, before we go on, we're going to need to cover our card. So let's get that done. Let's dig our card out. We'll start by folding it. And these are really weird looking. But what I want you to do is just kind of pre-crease. Wish you could see the paper while you're applying the color. We can try and get in a little bit more, or I can show you the images maybe a little bit more often, Avis, if that might help. There's a limitation to my camera equipment here, but I will try to get you more more frequent views as we color, okay? Let's take a close-up look at him before we go any further. Just so you can kind of see where we are. And I want to come in as close as I can without getting fuzzy. How am I doing, Margie?
It looks focused.
Is it good focused?
Yeah, I don't think that you can go any closer.
Okay. I'll just stop there for a minute. One of the things you might do on your phone or your tablet or your computer or even your TV, depending on where you're watching, you can go to full screen and you can get a bigger image. Now, I said I was kind of pre-scoring this. This is done with mountain and valley folds. So my first fold right here along these two sides is a mountain fold. What I mean by that is the pokey side goes up. The next fold is going to be a valley, so the pokey side goes down. Then I'm going to kind of pre-fold this just a little bit, just squeezing it with my fingers. I'm going to make a mountain fold, a mountain fold, a mountain fold. Once I've done that, then I can kind of push this all into place and I can crease those folds without messing up my card. That little pre-fold is really important when you're using a pre-cut card though that has the score lines on it. So see how nice that works out? Now, these new cards, by the way, these are brand new. We will be listing them in a few days. I have more of the Easy Peely stickers coming, and the same company makes these cards. So I'm going to be listing these centerfold cards, which you can either use as just a centerfold card. You know, you don't always maybe want the easel. If you don't want the easel, then cut off this flap, and you can just make that into a centerfold card. They're very reasonably priced, I can tell you that. They're priced at about the same that the old hot off the press cards were, and these have the extra flap on them, so I think that's going to be a pretty good deal for pre-folded cards. So if you don't want the easel, which I generally think is pretty cool, but if you don't want the easel and the extra postage is going to be involved in sending a bigger card, then just trim that flap off and you've got great working paper there, stamping paper. Okay, all right, now I've got my card pre-folded. And what did I do with my paper? Let me see if I stuck it back in the stack, or I know Brittany brought it to me. So the question is, what did I do with it?
One in there, I think.
Let's see. There. I'm not sure this is exactly the same. That's not the same, but it might work. The other thing I could do, just in the interest of time, is just grab that one. You guys have one in your kit, and that's the one you should use. But I've misplaced that one, but it's okay, because I have a piece of cardstock right here that's the same color. She did hand it to me just minutes ago. And sometimes I'm crazy and I lose things. And I've obviously lost that.
It's the craft fairies, I'm telling you.
Oh, the craft fairies, is that what does it, Margie?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. I have a piece of cardstock here. I'm just going to cheat and use, guys, because that's the way to do it. When you lose one thing, just use something else. Okay, I'm going to trim this down a little bit, though, because there's no reason for me to be sitting here trying to cover this with a 12 by 12 piece of paper when I've got a really nice piece right here. Okay, all right, I'm going to cut this. Let's see. I'm going to also cut this down to 6 inches the opposite direction. Okay, here we go. When you're covering this card, we are going to lay down some tape on there. As soon as I figure out what I did with it, here we go. And I am going to put a few pieces of tape here to hold my cardstock in place. when Hot Off the Press made these centerfold cards, they had that little pattern inside. I never actually liked to do it that way because it always seemed like the margins that you got were just a little bit off. So I taught myself how to cover a card and just clip it all in. So I'm showing you what I do. You've probably, if you watch our videos all the time, you've seen this before, but for the interest of those who may not have seen it before, I will do it again. I know Pat's new and several others of you are relatively new to us, so I want to give you as much detail as you need without boring you. So you know that the tape that I'm using is my finger lift tape from Hunkydory. Love, love, love this stuff. I use this instead of tape printers. And I use it instead of tape printers for a variety of reasons that some of you have heard ad nauseum, and I'm sorry about that. But for the interest of the new people, I love finger lift tape because I am a menace with a tape runner. And I don't know that I ever managed to get through a tape runner without pushing too hard on it, jamming it. Then I end up taking the tape runner apart because I'm too cheap to waste all that adhesive and trying to use the little roll that's all sticky and gross, and it's crazy, but I do it anyway because I'm a crafter and we by nature are thrifty people. We don't want to waste anything, right? Any of the rest of you ever done that? That you've taken the tape runner apart trying to use the little roll?
Absolutely.
And it always, the environmental part of me always was bothered too by the idea that you throw away all that plastic every time you use the tape runner. And even with the refillable ones, there's a lot of plastic you're throwing away from those. I like the idea that I have a roll of tape. I do have the little paper pieces that I have to. Okay, I'm showing you what I'm doing here. I put that right over the face of the whole card, guys. Okay, you can see in my light, you can see my topper through it. Now I'm going to come in from the back. I'm going to trim straight across first.
And don't do what I do, which is always accidentally clip off the top of your card.
Yeah, don't clip off the top of your card, as Margie's saying. Okay, I'm going to come down both sides here. Yeah, you've done that too, Daria, getting that tape runner taken apart and using the little roll because you can't stand to waste it. Well, I've done that more times than I care to say. Some tape runners are great, others aren't. Some are less resistant to jamming than others, but I still... Okay, so I want you to just trim up all three sides. Okay, to start with, do not clip this out yet. Okay, now open it up, and I'm going to come to the side where I actually have like the folded chair, see the chair? I'm going to come in from those sides. This is where having an easel is a little bit of a hassle because it wants to flop over on you. I'm going to come in from the side. Can you see that, Margie, on screen? Yeah, let me turn a little bit.
There you go, perfect.
I'm going to come in and I'm going to clip in. Like it's like about an inch and a quarter, come down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm going to come in like an inch and a quarter, and I'm just going to clip up to the card. Do it again here. I'm just going to clip right up to the card. Okay. And now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim along the side here to come underneath. And I'm going to trim that bar out. I'm going to do the same thing here. Now, depending on if you're right or left-handed, one side of this is going to be easier to do than the other. I know I have it way up out of camera range. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to see what I'm doing. Okay. And I have a perfectly covered card. Now, I didn't want you to cut these two bars off because the bars, if you don't cut them off, are just the right size to fit these spaces. See that? Right there. Now, rather than tape, I'm going to glue these bars in place because that allows me to shimmy them around just a little bit and get them right where I want them. So you might be thinking, oh, that's complicated. It really isn't. You kind of get used to doing it. And if by chance these little bars don't come out just right, just remeasure and cut another piece of your card, guys. You have more than enough cardstock to replace these little bars if they don't come out just right. So don't worry about that. You're not a failure if you do that. Sometimes it's kind of an awkward reach inside there to get those out. So if they don't come out just exactly the way you want them, just measure a new piece and stick in there. You got plenty of cardstock. I gave you an 8.5 by 11 and you really only needed a 6 by 6. So you got lots of cardstock to trim those back up. Anyway, back to my finger lift tape. So I don't like tape runners. I like the fact that on one roll of that tape, I don't remember what the yardage is, but it's something.
108 feet.
Oh, Brittany just told me it's 108 feet in one roll of my finger lift tape. Do you know how many typical tape runners that is? 3, 4? And it's so much less expensive than tape runners too. But I also like that. Okay, there's my card covered. All set and ready to go. Now, I want to see if I've got my sloth trimmed up just right. I want a little border around him. I do have a little tiny border. I think I might give myself just a little bit more border. I don't have to. It looks cute like that. But I'm going to give myself just a little tiny border. If you have a great paper trimmer that'll take off little pieces of paper, then you can do this. If you don't have a great paper trimmer that'll take off little things like that, think about doing it with your scissors instead. You guys have all heard me talk about my paper trimmer and how much I totally love it. Now, before I go on, I'm going to bring my stamp platform back in, and I'm going to go ahead and put my Sorry I'm Slow up here on my sloth, because I should have done that. And I want to put my words in before I don't really want to have to put the whole thing in to, my whole assembled card in to stamp it. It is more bulk and more potential problems than I really need. So I need to go back to my stamp sheet, and I'm going to get my Sorry I'm Slow, which really is here. There it is. Now, at this point, you've done all this work. Make sure, guys, that stamp is going the right direction. You know it's the right direction because the top is flat. The rough side is towards your paper. And the other tip is you should be able to read your stamp through. If it's a clear stamp, you should be able to read it right through. I'm going to get my little stamp cube again. Really, really like this stamp cube. I'm not aware of whether they have a bigger one. I'm going to look and see if they have a bigger one. The little cube, I think, is going to last really well. It's got a really nice sponge in there that's very firm and nice. So I got a perfect stamping with Sorry I'm Slow. I'll take my wet wipe the ink off of there, and put this back on my stamp sheet. The other piece we're actually putting on a raised piece. So I'm going to stamp that when I stamp my leaves. Let's go ahead and put our sloth onto our card now. I'm really liking the way that's looking. Whoops. Except that sloth, it does not go that way. It goes that way. I'm not going to worry about the fact that I just did this. I am going to restamp it. Look what I did, guys. This guy looks like he should go this way, right? But it's fine. I've got leaves, and I actually have an add-on here. So I'm going to put it back in now. Do I ever do a live stream that I don't make some kind of mistake, guys? I don't know. Have I ever done one? This will be my mistake for the day, I hope. This is a really easy to correct one. I'm going to put my words back on, and I'm going to go the right direction this time. Oh, I crack myself up sometimes.
No.
Oh dear. Yeah. Ink that up good. Close it. There we go. Now I got my sloth going the right direction. It is confusing that he lives upside down. Come on. It is confusing, right? So if you do this, you'll know you're not the first. I did it first. Sorry, I'm slow. Back on my stamp sheet again. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my sloth.
Several people like that you make mistakes because then you teach them how to correct it.
Thank you, guys. Oh, dear. Well, you know, you can't hide a thing in live streams. Not that I hide much from you anyway, because as you've already figured out by now, I tell you about it later anyway, because I'm chatty and I love you too, Brenda. Thank you, my friend. Okay, so I'm going to put glue on this because I want to be able to reposition slightly. I could do this with tape if I wanted, but I got my glue bottle right here and it's easy to kind of slide it around a little bit. So see, Patricia, you don't have to be the least bit intimidated by our projects. What you should learn from this is if she can do it, I can do it. Because she's pretty crazy. Okay, and you can see that I'm really sorry I'm slow. I'm doubly sorry I'm slow. Okay, next. Let's do our decorations. They're fun for stamping. Let's get we're going to get our happy belated birthday out for a sheet, and we're going to stamp one of those. And we're going to get our leaves out again. One of which I've lost. Where's it sticking? I did put them back on my stamp sheet. You guys saw me, but they got loose anyway. Where'd it go? Come on. I need that.
Oh, it's
there it
by
is.
the cup.
There it is. Found it. No worries. It's been found. Okay. Now this time, let's do just a little bit of making this a little bit blue in the background before we stamp our leaves on. So when we trim our leaves, we already have some background color in. How's that? So we're going to get our, and close up my detail pad there. We're going to get our blender sponge out again. I'm going to put some blue down on this. I'm probably not going to use a whole bunch of colors because the whole idea here is just to add a little color in behind the leaves. So again, we don't have the stark white behind them. But I am going to make 2 pages of this while I'm at it. So I'm going to get another piece of cardstock out. And I'll show you why we're going to do that.
You know, when you talk about the stark white, it really makes a big difference when you put that background on.
It does. It softens it,
doesn't
doesn't
seem
it?
like it would be that much of a difference, but it really is.
Can you guys hear Margie? Margie's saying that it really does make a difference in the appearance of your stamped image if you just take the sharpness off the white just a little bit, like what we're doing here. It just gives you a more professional, more complete look. So even though it's just a little bit of blue, I really need to wash my sponge. I've got so much ink in it that it's kind of crumbling a little bit at the edges. That's from having too much ink in it without washing it. blow off all my little crusties. And there's my mottled blue. Can you see that at all on camera? You can? Mm-hmm. Yeah? See that softness of the blue? I want to make another one. And I'm going to do the same thing, guys.
Hey, Daddy, I promise that they're not going away, but I'm going to fix your screen so that it gets to be bigger so you can see.
Okay. Margie's warning me that you were going away for me, but I'm not going away for you. So I'm glad to hear that. I kind of want to be here for you. Okay, here we go. Putting down another layer of blue on another piece of cardstock. Now, if you wanted to, just because you want to, add a little extra color to this, feel free. This one right here that we're working on, or one of these two, is going to end up being our insert. It's going to end up being
There you go.
this, oh, thank you. It's going to end up being this piece here, which I stamped, which I just did my light blue. Then I stamped light green leaves all over it because I want to be able to write in here and I don't want it to be interfering with my printing, but I didn't want it just white either. So that's why I'm making an extra one. Could I have done it directly on the stamping card? Sure. Or on the cardstock piece? Yes, if you're braver than me. You could have turned that card around backwards and done it. But I feel better doing it in 2 stages. So again, I'm just laying down just a little soft blue background. Okay, let's go ahead. This is going to be my trim out page, and this is going to be my insert. And let's go ahead and get our stamps out here. And this time I know I want to use my light green. And all I'm going to do is just stamp a few of these around different directions and just get some of that light green on here just to have a nice pattern on my insert sheet. So I'm going to go to my lightest green. For me, that's apple green. You may have a slightly different color, but go to your lightest green. And just pull it down. Let's move these. And when you look at this, guys, I'll give you a close-up view of this in a minute. When you look at these, you're going to see that they are just super light on here, which is exactly what I want. I want a background sheet only. So when you're trying to create background paper for something, just keep those colors really light, really subtle, and it's beautiful. I'm going to trade these up. I've been putting a roundish one in the center row. I'm going to trade these up a little bit and move them in a different direction so they have a, it doesn't look too uniform. I don't want it to look too uniform. Nothing in nature is uniform, usually. There's little variances in almost everything. So I'm going to move my leaves this way and that. And come down here with my roundish one. Come up here with this one. They can overlap and stuff. It doesn't matter. Just get a pattern that you like and that you feel good about. Now, how many of you guys got your magazines already? When you're making Hunkydory cards and run out of insert paper, you can make your own. Absolutely. Absolutely you can. That is a super good idea. Because we always make more cards than they think we're going to. And how often do we run out of insert paper? Quite often, huh? This would be really beautiful with a sentiment right over the top of it with those easy peelies. This probably wouldn't be a Christmas card, but it might. I'm not going to judge you. If you want to use it as a Christmas card, go for it. But, yeah. This would be a beautiful job for the Easy Peelies, and we have the birthday version coming in this week. This magazine that has the stamp sets with it. Let me tell you something, Avis. If you want it, go get it right now. We'll be here when you come back. Go get it right now, because I think there's one left. So if you want it and you didn't get it, this is your chance, guys, because it's going to be sold out. I do have a similar stamp set coming up soon, but you don't get the 2-for-1 kind of deal that you got on this one, which is what makes this stamp set such a great deal. Oh my gosh, such a good deal. Okay, one more stamp in, and I think this one will be done. I'm going to put a little ink on it, and we are going to have the most wonderful background sheet here. I'll bring it up and show you close up, because I'm loving this. Look at this. How pretty is that?
Yep. Shows up great too.
It's going to be just perfect for the inside of our card, isn't it? Okay. Now, let's do the other card. We have our other one that we've done the blue on. We're going to stamp more leaves. This time I'm going to use a brighter green. I'm going to mix my bright green, my rainforest green, and maybe even a little of my evergreen on these. I'm going to set this aside to put inside my card. And make some more leaves. And I'm going to need quite a few leaves. If you look, I got all these leaves to stamp. I don't care what the pattern is because I'm going to clip them out. Okay? If most of you aren't working along with me, I may put Margie on clipping them out while she's...
While I'm filling glitter packets.
Oh, she's filling glitter packets. Well, maybe for your next... Oh, Brittany's over here saying, stop messing with my workers. Okay.
It's called multitasking.
Okay. I don't care how close I put these together because I'm clipping them out anyway, guys. So I'm going to... I do want them to be the right direction. So I'm going to get my ink on there. Let's see just what color we get. Just stamping them by themselves to start with and see whether we want any of the darker color. That's what color we get. If that pleases you, that's good. If you want it darker, then feel free to tap a little dark over that and around it. I'm going to just kind of squeeze these in here and get as many as I can. And this time I think I'll give them a little, oops, I'm going to do my lighter color first though, keeping with our color conventions. The dark can corrupt the light color, but the light is not going to corrupt the dark color. So always stamp on your stamp with the lighter color first to avoid getting a mixture on your stamp pad. There we go. Oh, nice variation there. I'm going to move this. I'm getting inky fingers because I'm not cleaning these off every time I move them. It seems a waste of time to me. But if you care about inky fingers, which I don't at all, then you might want to clean them off before you move them. Doesn't matter to me. That's what we should call this. Somehow I don't think that's an original name, Inky Fingers. I was going to say we could call this Class Inky Fingers, but I kind of think there might be a brand or something out there called that, so we probably better not violate their trademark. It would be fun name for a stamping class, though, wouldn't it? Did you guys catch in the newsletter that our next couple of stamping classes are going to be Hunkydory card kits instead of stamping? I'm doing that because I know that some of you are just flaunching at the bit to get going with your cards, and I want to get some samples out there for you quickly. And I'm having a great time. A really good time doing those cards. At the end of the lesson today, I will show you what I have done so far. Oh my gosh, guys. They're really fun. They're really fun. I've been sitting here in the middle of the night working on card kits. So if you could see me today, you would see that I have wet hair because I got up just in time to have a shower and come out here. So it's just as well that the picture-in-picture wasn't working because I have wet hair and you would have seen it. Did I make the cows yet? Yes! I made the cows! I made the white Christmas tree. I made the stag. I made what else did I make? I made the poinsettia we're doing on Saturday. I made the gifts from the Christmas Sparkle set. I made something else. We'll see them.
Little green Christmas trees. That's on the present set.
Yeah, the present with the Christmas trees. Ugh.
And
Yay!
the little angel. But
Oh yeah, I did make the little angel too. But I think I'm going to put her in the download kit because I realized I had like four from that one kit, and I want to do like 2 to 3 of each on the free YouTube videos. And then the rest, if you bought your kit from us, which I think just about everybody here did, then you're going to get the free downloads anyway. But I want to make that all the cards be a special just for our customers. As I told you when we put the Craftiganza kit out there, that's going to be on a download from our website. So you actually download a video onto your computer, and then you'll have all the card samples for each of the sets that I do. At the pace I'm going right now, it will be most. I can't promise it will be all because I'm one person and there's somewhat limited time, but I'm going to try and get as many done for you as I can because I know you like that, and that makes me happy to keep you happy. In the Christmas presents from the Christmas Sparkle kit, I got 6 cards from one kit, and they're all beautiful. Wait till you see them. Yeah, it's fun. That's always a challenge to me to see what can I do with that kit. Whoops. What can I do with that kit that will allow me to get as much as I possibly can? I did not leave room here for my greeting. I'll have to use another piece of paper, but that's not terrible. I have paper. I know where I can get some. In fact, I have a piece of cardstock here that could be repurposed. So, there's my leaves. We're going to cut these out. It actually looks like that would be an all-day job. It's not. They're really actually pretty simple. Because if you look closely at my sample, I'm not trying to cut in to everything. I'm just kind of clipping out little triangles to represent them being cut out. I'm not cutting them precisely. And actually, I think they look great like that. So it's okay. I do think that I need to find a clean corner. I have a clean corner on this cardstock. Yeah, I have a little piece up here I can use. Freddie's over here laughing at me. She can't believe I'm such a doofus. She's my niece. She can say that. Margie can't do. She's my friend. You can't do. You're my customer. So hey, let's just agree I'm a doofus. Yeah. Not at all above repurposing.
I do it all the time. It's that stingy crafter part, right?
It is. We are all, we as crafters, it's one of our gifts is that we don't believe in wasting stuff. We want to, you can look at things. You can know that you have a creative mind when you can look at things and you know that you don't want to throw that out because surely there's something you can do with it. It also can become a real storage problem. Any of you guys ever have trouble storing all your stuff? Oh my gosh. I really have a hard time getting rid of things. You know, crafty things. I can be ruthless when it comes to the house, but if it's my crafty stuff, I say, I'm going to use that. And Brittany says, Aunt Debbie, you got to get rid of it. And I say, I'm going to use that. And then when I'm not looking, she gets rid of it anyway because she knows I'll never miss it. She doesn't think I knew she did that, but she does.
Oh, I do. I'll admit it.
Yes, but you always have trouble. Yes, I have trouble finding it on my desk. Yeah, where do you go when all the bins, tubs, and shelves are full? I hear you guys. I hear you. I feel your pain. Then we just make lots of things and use it up. That's what we do. We use up those scraps. I've been trying to give you some good tips to use up a bunch of your scraps here lately. So hopefully some of our little book ideas and tags and things we do will help you use up some of those useful scraps. And when you've done that, and you still have some left over that you didn't use because they just didn't find a purpose, maybe then it's time to think about donating bags of scraps to your schools and stuff. That's one thing I do that I really don't have a problem with is that I used to teach, we've talked about that lots of times, I used to teach the art literacy program, and you know, if you give a bag of scraps to a teacher and say, here's a great project for making collage or making mosaic, you know, just have them cut all these up in little tiles and make pictures, then it doesn't make me feel bad to get rid of it. Okay, got my happy belated birthday on there. I'm going to let that dry just a second, and then I'm going to put a little blue ink on it. Why? Because everything else has it. And why not?
Debbie and I will look to see what we can do about making sure you get a newsletter.
Oh, you're not getting the newsletter? Yeah, we'll get you on the newsletter. You've signed up several times, huh?
I've done that too. I've signed up multiple times too, and I still don't get it.
Well, let's see if we can resolve that problem. Anybody else not getting it? I will get you taken care of, Avis. Sometimes what happens, guys, is that your service provider blocks my newsletters because it's, you know, it gets, oh yeah, that's awesome, Daria. Because it's coming from a business and it reads, your internet provider or your system reads it as spam. So always check your spam filters because sometimes it will be there. Other times, if it's blocked by your internet service provider, what I recommend is that you put me into your address book. If you put me in your address book, then your system will look, see, oh, wait, that's a friend, and it won't zap it. So that's another thing to try, is put me in your address book, info@simplyspecialcrafts, so when it reads an email coming from that address, it doesn't go, oh, wait, you're not an intruder. It will recognize you.
Yes, Brenda, the emails that you get are the newsletter.
Yeah. Do you guys, I think our newsletter, I'm prejudiced on that point. I just want to ask you, I think our newsletters are pretty terrific. Do you like the newsletter? Do you find it useful? Is there anything that's not useful in a newsletter? Is there anything you go, oh, she's wasting my time? Do you like those? I mean, tell me the truth. It's okay. I'm asking you. If there's something that I do that you don't like, it's really useful to know that. If there's anything that is just not a good use of your time to read, Tell me that. Like, I was wondering if I was overdoing it when I was telling you about upcoming classes and sending you the links for the classes, but telling you about the classes separately too. The video links, you like those? Okay. All right. I trimmed off my happy birthday. I've got it blue now. I'm going to put a little green border around it. I'm just picking up my ink pad. And I'm going to just run it along the edges, which is going to give that just kind of a finished look. This is a really good tip. If you haven't done this, try this, guys. It will take it just makes it look like it's got a little micro mat around it, and it just makes it look just a tad more finished. Okay.
Hand me those leaves and I will help cut some of them.
Okay. Let me show you what I'm doing. All I'm doing, and let me show them too. All we're doing with our leaves, let me come in here. I'm going to start with this one. In fact, I'm just going to whack this one out and then I can hand the page to Margie. All I'm going to do when I cut these out, guys, is I'm going to leave the stem of the leaf fairly good size. I'm going to come around here, I'm going to round this off. Which you probably could just do that if you wanted to, but I do like the extra little bit that it takes to just come in here with the tip of your scissors and cut little triangles out. And it's super easy to do. Don't try and cut clear up to the stem and stuff. That will make you a crazy person. Maybe that's what happened to me once I did that, and now you see what you get. Okay. So that's all I'm doing, guys. So it's really, really easy. I wouldn't give you a really nasty, fussy cutting job. I'm just giving you a little. And it just looks good. They really look like palm fonts when you do that. And while Margie's clipping away over there, I'm going to start assembling the card after I get this little leaf cut. We'll see, it doesn't take long. Fiona will love it, won't you, Fiona? Yes, ma'am. Nothing wrong with cutting things for our sloth card. No. If you ever find, and I know a lot of you will do this because I talk to a lot of you, but if you ever find that there's something you just can't find in our store, call me, guys. Call me after 2 p.m. any day. If you call me in the morning, you're going to get the email or the phone mail, which is fine. If you leave a detailed message, and I'll know what you're looking for, and I can call you back with an answer. But if you don't like getting answering machines, just call me after 2 in the afternoon, our time. And, oh, we're losing Daria. Thanks for telling me. I had fun making this card, but I need to go. Watch the rest tomorrow. Okay, see you tomorrow, Daria. All right, let's do this assembly. We're going to put our insert page in. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put some tape on my card. Now, see this great big wide roll of tape here? I'm not advocating this to any of you. It's something new can I call at 4 a.m. Eastern time? You know what? Most of the time you'd probably get me. You could call up to 2. Yeah, let's see, 2 would be 11. You can call me up to 10 p.m. our time. So that's, what's that? 10 p.m. our time is 1 o'clock your time. You can call me up to 1 o'clock your time, and that would be fine. You're kidding, but I'm not. Margie and I have a texting rule because she's a night owl too. I don't text her after 2 a.m. And then Brittany, who's my niece who gets up early and works on her other job all week, she texts me at 5 a.m. because she knows there's a pretty good chance I'm up. And if I'm up, I answer her. And if I'm not, she goes, oh, she went to bed earlier tonight. She's sleepy. Okay. I just put my tape down. I said I was trying this tape. The same company that makes Easy Peelies and these cards. This is their version of finger lift tape. It does have the little finger holes on the sides. One thing I'm liking about it, I just told her I'd try it. One thing I'm really, really liking about it is that the paper peels really easily. All I'm doing now, guys, is I put down my insert paper. I taped it on, and now, as I usually do, I just flipped it over and I'm cutting around it from the back, because you know me, I don't measure. Not unless I absolutely have to. And now we have a beautiful insert paper on the inside of our card. And this leaf right here that we cut a little while ago is going to make a marvelous stopper. I'm going to put that up on a couple pads of foam squares. Got some 2mm foam squares here, and I think I'm going to double those. So I'm going to put a row of foam squares here. I think I'm going to put a row of 4. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go on top of those because I want to have a nice stopper. Fiona! See you later, Fiona. I hope to see you again sometime. Thanks for stopping in with Grandma. I love it. Okay. Seriously, Betty, thanks for bringing her. I love it when kids join us. It makes me happy. I still loved teaching those kids. I gotta tell you, I really, really did. How will we know when you get the cards in the Easy Peely? And I'll bet you Brittany will tell you about them. I'll bet you Brittany will be delighted to tell you about them.
I sure would.
So you will know as soon as they get here because Brittany's going to tell you all about them and show you the packs and tell you how many cards you get and read some of the sentiments to you from the birthday cards. Okay, so we've got our card and our stopper. The only thing left to do on here, and we probably won't do all of these just because I want to get to our other card, is we've got to glue our leaves on. So, okay. So we're going to take our leaves, we're going to put them on some foam squares. And we're going to start sticking them onto our cards. So I'm going to put maybe 2 foam squares under each one, right at the, depending on how much room I have. And what I wanted to show you is I'm just going to I'm going to use the ones I put down earlier as kind of a template to where to put them that I know they look good. So I'm going to put that one right off the edge there. I'm going to put one here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here. Probably one down in here. And then then I'll just fill in a little bit more with some extra leaves until we get it looking like this. Oh, and I'm going to put my happy belated birthday right over how very slow I am. I'm going to put that over the top there. So let's move on to our other card, shall we? Margie will keep cutting those and I'll stick some on for you when we're done. But I want to move on to our other card because it's kind of involved too. Let's start with our card base, guys. And the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to do surgery on our card. Now, I want to show you what they send. This is the 5x7 card blank they sent, or that they provided. Not they. I mean, this is the way it comes right here. Okay? Well, I find that to be a little too high. So what I did is I did a little surgery on it, and I cut this flap. Actually, I cut this flap off. Take this one completely off. I think I'll do it with my paper trimmer and not risk the cutting crooked. And then what I did is I just folded this piece down to the bottom. Now this is heavy cardstock, so it's not a particularly easy fold, but it can be done, as demonstrated by my doing it. There we go. This is the card blank I want to use. So you got really two different ways to use this card, right? Okay. Now, I want to do my stamping on a separate piece of cardstock and then add it. Why? Because I'm a chicken. I'm afraid I'll mess that up, and you know, I want to have it look beautiful. So I'm going to get myself, in your kit should be an 8x8. Oh, I'd love that if she could post Fiona's artwork, and then Fiona can go see it online. That'd be fun if she would let us do that. Yay! Okay, here we go. All right, I'm going to stamp. It's time to switch stamp sets. I'll put my leaves away on my sheet. See there? I'm being a good girl. I'm doing what he said I was going to do. I'm putting them on my sheet. I have lost my happy belated birthday though, because I didn't put it away immediately. And it's stuck to something. I'll find it later. There it is. Okay, I'm going to put that away. You know this plastic sheet, guys, that comes over your stamps? Keep those and put that back on when you're done. That will keep your stamps nicer, and it will help hold everything in place between uses. So put that back on your stamps when you're done. And then you can slide them in your envelope and everything stays nice and tidy. I know you're taking tidiness lessons from me, right? You guys have no idea how funny that is.
You're holding back the laughter.
Okay. Pull out your other one. And since I don't believe anybody is actually working with me today, I'm going to go ahead and use my pre-made mask. So, because it'll be faster. Okay, I'm going to start by stamping my hot air balloon. I'm going to get my balloon off this page. And I'm going to stamp it right about here. You'll notice I'm a little to the left, or excuse me, a little to the right. I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to stamp that with my nifty jifty stamping cube. This really is a nice stamp pad. I said that before, but it's because it's a really nice stamp pad. Okay, here we go. Pull it down. I think I did this last time too. I thought, is that broken line because it's supposed to be there, or is that broken line because I didn't get a good stamping on it? And I think I ascertained that the broken line was because it is a broken line in a stamp, and it's supposed to be. But I'm going to still go over it one more time just to make sure I caught all the detail. And close it. There we go. And see, I still have broken lines because it's supposed to be that way. All right, clean off our stamp.
Yes, I recall you trying to stamp it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, Margie was here when I was stamping and I kept saying, am I getting all that? What's going on with that? Nope, that's the way it's supposed to be. Now remember when I told you guys that Post-it notes that are sticky all over are really wonderful masks? They are. That's why I told you that. It's a really wonderful mask. And I made a mask out of my Post-it note. My Post-it notes were smaller, so I made it in 2 pieces. The beautiful thing is that because Post-its, I'm not working for the company or endorsing the company, it's just true that they happen to have a wonderful product. Because they are nice and sticky and stay sticky, when you get the all over ones, it really seals it down nicely to your project. I got these pads on Amazon. Okay, so I've got my hot air balloon masked. Why? Because I got to create some sky. And we definitely want to be doing that. I don't really need it in my stamper, though, I guess. Let's see. No, I don't really need it in my thing, so I'll take it out of here. There's nothing else I'm stamping on here at the moment. Oh, my bird. I guess I can stamp my bird on. Let's go ahead and stamp the bird on, which we discussed and decided was an important addition.
I almost just said that. That bird is very important.
I got it all done and Margie said, it's missing something. It's missing something. I said, what's it missing? She said, I don't know. So I went and got a bird and put it on there. Yeah, where's the bird from, though? Where did I find the bird? The bird is at the other set, which you happen to have. Here's my bird. It's off this area here. It's actually 2 birds, but you don't have to stamp 2 birds, do you? Because whatever I put ink on is going to show. So I'm going to put my bird down where I want it, and then I'm only going to ink the one I want. Because you don't have to ink an entire stamp. You can use just the pieces you want. And when we talk about coloring with watercolor pens, we'll talk about that. You can color just the parts of the stamp you want to use. Here's my bird stamp. And there's my bird. I used only half the stamp. So you guys may know that, but in case you didn't know that, there's a little tip. You can use just what you want to use. Put that back over on its stamp sheet. And now, let's do our background coloring. And you guys know where we're going here. We're going to make some pretty sky. So, I want to start with my blue. Pounce it off a little bit. Make sure my blue is good. And I'm going to start there, and I'm going to start working my way out, adding additional colors as I go. But I'm going to go around with my blue. I'm going to kind of go around in circles, soft circles, get my blue down on my sky. My bird has been on there long enough now that he's safe from my scrubbing with my sponge. Sometimes when I do the sky, I like to kind of go across, like, you know how clouds tend to kind of be in lines. So sometimes I go around and around, and sometimes I go back and forth. I like both. I want lighter spots and darker spots. I'm going to take this out because I can reach everything better when it's not in. And I'm going to put some more blue on, then I'm going to start adding some darker colors. It's going to be a bright sunny day, so let's see how I can go right over the top of that Post-it and it's just not wavering, it's not moving at all. That's because it's good. It's got good sticky on it. And I want lighter and darker, so I'm not going to fill in all of that. I'm going to set my light blue aside for a second, and I'm going to bring in some other colors. I want a little of this pink or mauve color. I'm going to bring in some mauve, just in areas. Which kind of gives it a slight purpley cast. And then, I don't think my friend Thelma, she can't sign on because her pad doesn't support chat, but I don't think my friend Thelma's probably out there today. But when you are watching this, Thelma, just know I'm thinking about you. She called me and told me she was not feeling well. So I just want her to know I'm thinking about her. Hey! Hi, Glenda. Welcome, welcome, friend.
My grandma was making cookies, so she just popped in.
Oh, hi. Welcome. Okay, now when I go with the darker blue, you saw that I bounced it off just a little bit, and I'm using a real light hand with the dark because I don't want the dark to just take over, and it will if I let it. So I'm going lighter. Now, because we have this mask in here, it's a little deceptive to see how dark we're getting. I'm going to peel my mask and just take a look underneath and see how our colors are doing. See how much brighter or how much more ink we have than it looked like we had? I do like that. Oh, Kim and Katie are here. Hello, Kim and Katie. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Hello, Miss Katie. I always love it when you're here. Fiona was here earlier. You could have a new friend in Fiona. Okay, Katie, sleep well, baby. I'll see you on the rewind. Okay, I'm going to put a little more color. But I did want to check and see how my color was doing before I went too far. I'll put a little bit more purplish in it. Why? Because I like purple. There's probably no other good reason than that. Okay. I think, in the interest of time, I will stop there. This is like with the colored pencils. The more I work it, the more variations I can get in color, the more blending I can get. But in the interest of time, I'm going to stop there because there's still some things I want to show you. And I do have to make sure it went down far enough. I need to go a little lower. See that? Because I want this to come clear down. I'm going to cut it to 5x7, so I'm going to need to come down a little lower yet. Not a whole lot lower because I'm going to cut an inch off the bottom, but I still need to come down just a little lower. I'm going to get a little more blue in here, a little more color scrubbed onto this bottom. Just so I don't have any anemic places there. Get just a little more color in here. Boy, I'm really tearing up my sponge, guys. I gotta wash some ink out of there. See what it's doing? This is the ink that's crumbling off of it. The sponge itself would be pretty good to go for a long time, but because I have so much ink buildup in it, it's kind of crumbling. So when you do that, when you find that, wash it. Don't do as I do.
Eat.
Yeah, when you're hungry, eat. When it builds up too much ink, wash it. Yeah, I'm the master of the obvious, aren't I? Okay. All right, here we go. Putting a little bit more mauve in there. Okay, here we go. For those of you who are having to sign off just before you go, let me remind you, if you like this class and you find it useful, please give me the thumbs up. That's my attaboy that says we're doing all right in these classes and you like what you're learning and you like what we're doing. And if you don't like it, tell me privately. sensitive soul, tell me privately. Okay, I'm ready to trim this down. So I've got my trimmer here, and I'm going to cut this to be a 5x7. Let me just verify my measurements, because there's nothing more disappointing than assuming that something is going to be one measure only to find that it's not. I'm seeing that this paper is like an 1/8 of an inch, or a 1/16 of an inch over 5, so it's good that I measured it. And for my fold, it's right on 7 high. I'm gonna start just a little bit extra wide and then trim to fit, because I don't want to get it too small. Okay, let's see. I think I'll start here and see where my line would come. That's very close to my bird, and I don't think I want to take everything off one side, so I'm gonna trim that about there. There's nothing precise about this, guys. You just kind of start trimming and stop when you like what you got. There's another master of the obvious, but that's a little over 5 wide. And it wants to be 7 long, and my measures told me that 7 was just right, so I'm going to believe that. Maybe I'll go like 7 and then 8, and then I can trim it off with my scissors. Okay, got my stamped image, liking that. So I want to talk a little bit about the watercoloring. This is fun. This is very, very fun. If you haven't used watercolor pencils, they're marvelous. Now, what I'm going to do might shock you. Although if you've been around long, nothing shocks you anymore. I'm going to get myself a couple yellows out here. And what did I do with my water pen? I know I had it here. There's my water brush. These water brushes, I also have more of these on order if we happen to be out in the store. I'm not sure if we have them or not, but I have more of these coming. Yours might be different colors, doesn't matter. I bought this one because it was purple.
That's the water brush.
Hunkydory in the 3 sizes.
We do have the Hunkydory water brushes. Okay, Brittany says we do still have the Hunkydory water brushes. Would you check the inventory in the computer on those two, please? Now, I'm going to color with my colored pencil right on my craft mat. Why? Because I can. I could do it on a piece of cardboard or something here. But I'm coloring right on my mat because I can wash it right off. Because it's water. Water-based. And I'm going to start. I'm going to get my water brush out here. Actually, what I need to do is make sure I wiped my brush off. You did get these, Kim. I saw that you got the last one. Yes. Yep. You got the very last set of the watercolor pencils from Hunkydory. But there are more on order, guys. So
There is one Spectrum Noir.
Oh, Margie says there's also a Spectrum Noir watercolor pencils on the shelf. They're also really nice.
You have 13 of the Hunkydory brushes.
Oh, and Margie says we have 13 of the Hunkydory brushes. Okay, what do I want to do? See, I've just mixed up my watercolors right here. Now, I could color right on my card, and then I could spread the ink with my brush. I like to just have the additional control of putting it on with my brush. Now, I got a little more water than I wanted there, so I might have to move to another area while I let that firm up again. Because I want my paint to be a little more concentrated than that's going to be now that I overwatered it.
me.
Not good with plants for the same reason, guys. I overwater them too. Okay, oh good, you have the Spectrum Noir. You're in good shape then.
I love them.
And Margie uses the Spectrum Noir too. She says she loves them. Okay, when you do your painting, what I recommend is that you come in and make the little folds in the balloon fairly dark. And then pull your color lightly over the rest of it. What that's going to do is kind of give you the feeling of depth. See here? Where I've pulled my color over slightly and then I shaded a little bit more in the folds.
Yeah, you can see.
Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Any closer and you'll be fuzzy.
Okay. And I do like this kind of intense yellow for this job. Now, when I lay it down the first time, it's going to be pretty yellowish. But I can come back in over the top and darken those stripes.
Kim wants to know if the ink is a hybrid ink.
This ink here, this one,
I'm not.
is this what you're asking about? This ink that I'm including in your pad is hybrid ink. So it will not smear with the watercolor, which is really important. If you didn't get this kit and you're just looking for techniques, you can also use like stays on ink if you have that in your collection. That's good with water. Stays on, for some reason, is getting really hard to get. I was going to buy stays on pads for this water exercise, and I couldn't get them. I couldn't get enough of them. They were selling out. So isn't that weird? You know, guys, when I colored this, I thought with the red and blue and yellow I was being original with my colors. I did use a pattern somewhat like was in your magazine. But I thought I was being original in my colors. I got all done, looked at the magazine, and they use the same colors. So I thought I was being original for you, but they didn't use our fancy schmancy folded card like we're going to. Okay, so I'll probably go back in and add a little more darker yellow there, but let's switch colors. I want some red. And if you got this stamping pad from us, see, here's another use for your pad. You can just color right on it and wipe it off. I did notice that since I'm kind of getting down in the grooves a little bit, I might have to take a cleaning product and wipe it off, but it will wipe off. It'll clean up nicely. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my red. I think I got a little different red this time. That's okay. Because there's no right and wrong here. It's just what's pleasing to you. And then I'm going to lighten up a little bit. And just see, I just wiped some of the red off of my pen so I could kind of just pull a little of my color from what was already there.
Alice, the brushes are, if you type in Hunkydory water brush, it will pop up. It's the first thing that does on your drop down list.
Or it's in the Prism menu. That's where you find it too. With the other Prism tools. That's where it is too. So, I love these water brushes. I really find them fun to use.
They give you a lot of control.
It does give you a lot of control. For some reason, I feel like I have more control than I have with a paintbrush.
I do too.
So, I know we're beginning to run short on time, and you guys, I promise you guys I won't keep you too late, so I'm going to continue to, I'm going to do just a bit more, and then I'm going to switch gears, and we will start talking about some of the other components of this. I think you got a pretty good idea where we're going, though. I like that with the water brush. See, here's where I picked up my ink, and then without picking up more of my paint, I just pull a little bit towards the center and towards the center and see how much lighter and lighter it gets. That really, to me, looks like it has air in it. It's neat, the way that works out. So I pick up a fresh load of paint. I come over here. I didn't get a whole lot of paint there. Come over here and then just brush it out towards the other side fairly lightly. And I can still come in and shade this more, right? Let's go back to our sample and look at the other things we've done in coloring here. I just used brown. I put a little bit of my yellow in the center of the hot air balloon here. I used brown on my basket, brown. I did the top of my balloon in red, did my stripes in blue. And I just kind of tried to vary my colors, especially in these red and yellow stripes, to just kind of give it that airy effect. Let's go ahead and do a little more stamping.
Debbie,
Yeah.
I'd like to know if you have to use watercolor paper.
No. I'm just using the ink cardstock that I sent you. Would watercolor paper be great? Sure, watercolor paper would be great, but we're not adding an awful lot of water. If we were really doing some intense watercolor, Kim, I'd say use watercolor paper, but we're really not doing a real intense job with the paint. All we're doing is adding a little water to blend our colors, and you don't have to use watercolor paint for that. And see, I'm not getting any buckling or anything. If I look at the back, I can see where I added a little bit of water, but when this attaches down, that's not going to show at all. Can you see that at all? Yeah, can you see the tiny ripple there? That's water, but
A little bit.
it's nothing to write home about. No sense in spending the extra money for watercolor paper when you're doing this much. It's
So
great.
a trick to help with the buckling is if you flip it over, use your heat gun and dry it on the back, and it will knock out your buckling a little bit.
Did you guys hear that? When Margie does this with watercolors, she dries it with her heat gun a little bit too.
On the back.
Knock out any rippling on the back. Okay, let's get our platform out again. We've got another couple stamping jobs to do. We want to stamp this piece down here that we're going to attach to our flap. We're going to focus on the journey, not the destination, and we're going to stamp the cloud. So I'm going to come in here, get my cloud, and get my cardstock. I'm not going to worry about coloring my card before this because I'm going to watercolor my add-ons. So I've got this one to do. I've got my big Enjoy Your Day. My Enjoy Your Day is going to be stamped right onto this piece after I stamp it. So I will, it's really nice. The Enjoy and Your Day are separate because there's another stamp there that says enjoy your retirement, enjoy your birthday. It's really nice that it gives you lots of variations. So I've got got those. I liked the stamp on the inside. I also kind of like the hiding an extra little message inside. I just thought that was fun to put that behind the flap. I put this on a separate piece of cardstock and then inked around it a little bit, just at the edges to make it blend with my background. So I've got those. The Enjoy Your Day, we already said we're going to put right on the background. So I'll lift this, stamp it with my cube. Just in the interest of time, I'm not going to do all the watercoloring, guys. If you have any trouble at all with the watercoloring and you want more demonstration, let me know and I'll put up a little supplemental video coloring the rest of it. Avis, have a good night. Have to go. Okay, see you on the rewind, Avis. Nice to have you here today. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Close this. Make sure we got a good stamp of everything. Journey destination, I think I inked that first and it dried a little before I got to everything else. So I'm going to give that another shot of ink. Okay, that destination is just lighter, I think. It's not a real intense print there, so I'm going to give it just a little bit more. There we go. Now I like it. There we go. There's our stamped images. I'm going to cut those all out separately. But before I do that, I need to stamp my Enjoy Your Day in my hillside and below. So I'm going to clean off my stamps. I do go through quite a few baby wipes in this process, probably because I'm so messy. I don't know if you guys go through as many baby wipes when you're stamping as I do, but I don't mind. I buy the cheapest brand they have at Amazon. I buy them by the case. You can get like 8 of them for, I don't know. It's less than $2 a pack, and they last me a very long time. I'll keep that one. That's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to take these off, set them on my stamp sheet so I don't lose them. I'm going to get my Enjoy Your Day, and you'll note I put the Enjoy right on this line, and I put Your Day slightly below it. You should be able to read, if it's going the right direction, you should be able to read the stamp through and make sure that your stamps are right side up. We have the solid part facing us and the rough part towards our image. I'm going to go ahead and stamp Enjoy Your Day on. I'm going to give that one more shot. I like my words kind of intense black. They'd probably be fine, but I just like the intensity a little bit.
And you can do it.
And I can do it because I can go right back into the same place. There we go. All right. Liking that. I'm going to cut out my... Oh, you use a chamois? That's a good idea, Mary. Just a damp chamois would get the job done, wouldn't it? Then you could wash it and reuse it. That's a great idea. See, you guys are so smart. How'd you get so smart? Brittany tells me, my niece, she's my sister's daughter, she tells me she gets it from her dad's side of the family when I make that comment. I inherited it from my daddy. Do you see the abuse I put up with, guys? Constant abuse. Constant. Oh, I love them. I love them. Don't tell them, though, because they think I'm tough. They're laughing now. They're laughing, guys. Come on. They're laughing at me. Okay. I actually cut that at a little bit of an angle because I stamped it at a little bit of an angle. I want this one to come right about Okay. This is going to be slightly higher when I cut it out. It's going to be slightly higher than my fold line. That's exactly what I want. And I want this to be 5 inches wide. So I'm going to cut this off because I'm going to trim it out on the top anyway. I'll have a nice even edge there. And this stamp is 6 inches wide. So what you can do is go ahead, color it all up, cut it out, and then cut off the edges where you think they should be cut off. Funny, I'm dead set serious. Oh dear. Yeah. Okay. All right. Focus on the journey, not the destination. I'm going to take a little bit more off the bottom there. Make sure I got this totally straight. Let me just check my cutting out here. Yeah, it's pretty good. Close enough for government work. Okay. All right. With this one, I'm going to put a little of my blue ink around here. All those giggles you give away. What are we talking about with the watercolor pencils plus a case? Oh, the Spectrum Noir. Mary, is that what you meant? They're a great price. Was that which one you had? I think that was you that said you had those, right? Or maybe that was Avis. Or are you talking about the Hunkydory ones? The Hunkydory ones aren't a bad price. Good watercolor pencils can cost you some money. But these are pretty good. They are pretty good. I like them. I think they, like I said, they have good lay down. You can color softly. You can color more firmly. They're good with water, and they're good just as pencils. So see this soft bit of color we get around there just by taking our stamp pad around there, and it looks right on my background when I do that. Okay, I'm going to cut out my trees. This looks like it might be a little fussy cutting. It's really not bad at all, guys. It really isn't. Watch me cut this in just a couple of minutes here. And around the trees, how do they know where your lines are on the trees? So if you cut them closer or further out, nobody's going to know that but you. I just kind of rounded them off. I didn't cut all the little. And I did the same with the hillside. I didn't cut all the little grass. I just rounded my hillsides too. And this is going to come right up against our sky, so we don't need to worry about keeping any sky in because this blue sky is already above it, right? When we attach this to our panel. I started telling you about this finger lift tape that I'm trying from the company that does Easy Peelies and these cards. This is her version, and I thought I'd try it. Interestingly, this tape roll is like 9 inches or 9 millimeters. Let's see, it's 12 millimeter paper and 9 millimeters of adhesive. It seems to be pretty good. The paper releases really well. It seems big and clunky to me because I'm not used to. What do I do with my card?
Should it go underneath?
It's over here. Because I'm not used to the width of it. But so we have extras that can be trimmed off. I'm going to kind of center my enjoy your day and trim both ends. But I do like the fact that the paper lifts really, really easily on it. That part's really nice. And it seems to have really good adhesive properties. So I'm still deciding whether or not to bring this in. I don't want to confuse people by bringing in something different without being very conspicuous that it's different than you're used to. I think the adhesion, Alice, is exactly the same. The price, I think, is going to be comparable, but the adhesive is wider. So it may end up being just a little bit less expensive in that respect, that you get more. Now, I got that on there, and let me just show you what it looks like from the back. And I'm just going to trim this down with my scissors, not the top part, because I just made that rough on purpose. But I'm just going to trim the two sides off. And I see that when I cut that down a little bit on this side, I actually have a little pokey showing. I'm trimming off my corner a little bit right there. Won't hurt the integrity of my card at all, and it looks better. So when I watercolored this, I wish I hadn't tried to make the road dark. I'll tell you that. I just treat that more like green. Like it does. You can see that it actually has a stripe to be a road, but there's no way to make it, to get the white line in unless you were using like a white marker on it. There's no way to get the stripes back in the road. So when I do it again, I was going to say if I were to do it again, I'm going to. I have a card started here. I'm not going to put this in black like pavement. I'm not going to treat that like a road. I'm going to treat that like it's just green. I used deeper, I used more coloring. I did the same thing, sort of. I kind of did a very light wash over everything, and then I went in and started building up my color around the edges, around these. I gave it a little more color here in the front, just until it's pleasing to you, really. And then I put in my stems, and it's remarkably easy coloring. A white gel pen would get the job done, Kim, and then you could have the road. And I think the road would be important if our foreground were like the bicycle or the car or something. Having the road there would be important. I'm not sure it is in the hot air balloon one, but
I think some of your Nouveau drops would also work.
Oh, Nouveau drops, Margie said, would be another option.
Possibly.
Although you'd want to probably put them on with a brush, I think. When I did my clouds, I came in and did some blue, and then I actually used a little bit of gray in my clouds on the underside only, on my clouds. So I just want to show you where we were going with that so we can put this together. I'm not going to finish the watercoloring, but if you guys have questions or feel like it would be advantageous to you to do some more watercoloring, I absolutely will do it again for you if you tell me that it would be beneficial to you. I just don't want to keep you up too late. And how are we doing on time, Margie? We must be running pretty close.
2 hours.
We're at 2 hours now, which is kind of my limit. So I'm going to cut out my cloud, show you where I'm going to place that. Like you can see it on my sample. The clouds are really easy to cut out too. So I'll watercolor my clouds. I'll place them on some foam squares. And it's a beautiful card. And it's just such fun. This really, to me, when we're doing the silhouette stamping and stuff, it's fun to mix the backgrounds, and that feels very artsy to me. But stamping the silhouette stamps, that's really just simple stamping to put a design on things. This one, to me, when you're coloring it with the watercolor pencils, this feels more like a piece of art. You know, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's what I thought when I did it. I had a really good time because I felt like I was kind of creating something that required more work, more, maybe a little bit more skill. Not that it's difficult, it's not. But I did feel like I got to do more artsy kinds of stuff. I think I'm going to stop there unless you guys have any questions. Ask me any questions that you have now regarding either one of our projects we've done today, any of the supplies we've used, and then we'll look at what's coming up. And what's coming up, I can't wait to show you these cards. I totally can't wait. But I will answer any other questions before I get distracted with that. Any questions? Please hold up the koala card. Yes, I will, because I love the koala card. You're a koality friend. Happy belated birthday.
Man, you're into the late birth.
That's because I'm
lateness.
late. That's because I'm late. I just found out that Margie had her birthday a couple weeks ago, and I just, you know, I have a birthday board here in the shop, and all the people who used to come in for Crafty Friends, we watched that board really carefully because we were right on top of it all the time in, you know, celebrating people's birthday. And then, oh my gosh, it just got completely by me. So I know who's getting one of these cards, one of these sorry I'm late cards, because I'm kind of like that sloth. I'm maybe perpetually late. I love the koala too, Katie. That's just, it's fun and it's easy. And you know, if you use, we sell some masking sheets by Hunkydory. Truly, guys, I mean, you could try those. These stick better. These stick better.
Just the Post-its. Kim was wanting to see what masks you actually used that
Yes.
came in late.
I stamped my koala on a piece of paper. On one of these Post-it notes, actually. I cut out around him. I put him here. Then I stamped all my vines in on top. So all the vines went on top of the koala. And when I peel my mask back off, and remember, if you make these out of reusable material, you can peel these off, and I only have to ever make this mask once, right? And look how beautiful that looks. I've got all those vines coming up in the background and the foreground, and my koala is absolutely perfect underneath. So isn't that fun? And then I was just a little bit careful because my Post-it note wasn't real wide. I was just careful over here that I wasn't stamping onto the branch. But isn't that just, I put the koala on first, yes. And then I put all the vines around him. And then I put my sayings in. And I put my sky background in after I did my other stuff because I didn't want my bear to turn out blue. So very first thing to stamp is the koala, then your vines, then your sayings, then make the background blue around him. And I will show you something else that I found useful. Using my watercolor pencils again, if there were any areas that just needed a little touch of blue, I got a little bit of blue ink actually right off my ink pad because these are water-based. I can clean off my brush so I'm not corrupting my pad. But if I want to add color, I'm going to get a little bit of water on my brush. Oops. And I can dip it right in my stamp pad so I have exactly the same color. And if I want to, then I can come in and I can get right into some of these areas with that same blue. How's that for a technique? So you can pick it up on your water brush and get exactly the same color. How neat's that? Because these are water-based pads. It'll make this look a little bit faded out. It won't hurt it at all. Won't hurt it at all. All I'm doing is grabbing a little bit of my ink off of there, and then I can come right down in and around and add that blue. See how I'm putting that blue on there? Pretty cool, huh? That was actually something I wanted to mention to you, so I'm glad you asked those questions. Thank you for that, because I missed it. So there you go. Any other questions, guys? Before we switch gears and look at what's next? Wait till you see what's next, by the way. Did you see all your happy birthday greetings on here, Margie?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. They have an excuse because they didn't know. I knew and I still missed it. By the way, Ashley has a birthday coming up here too. Tomorrow. We got to talk about what we're going to... Oh, I'm not here tomorrow. Okay. You want to see? Okay, first we should probably look at what's Saturday. So let's look at Saturday first. This is Poinsettia Promise. They say you get 2 cards. I say, let's get 5. Here's my first one. I cut my flap in the front. And then I used the rest of my cardstock inside. Now we'll have to write on this with a Sharpie inside here because it's glossy paper now. But I thought it looked really cool to have that red stripe there. I could have just cut it off here and left this part just regular insert paper so I'd have a place to write, but I liked it.
I like it.
So here's one. That's one of our Saturday cards. I did this one with a piece of glitter paper, which I've inserted into your card kits. It's kind of a almost plum red glitter paper. And take a look at this ribbon you get in your kits this time, guys. Holy smokes. That is some beautiful, fine ribbon. By the way, make sure that those get zeroed out in the system for now, if you would, please.
I'm doing it right now. I just
Okay.
thought about it.
Yeah, because I use several rolls of it on the kits, and I don't want to sell you something I don't have. So, there we go. Look at that ribbon. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, next up. And by the way, if you have not yet taken my bow class, you're going to want to do that because I'm not pre-tying all these ribbons. So tell me if you need a bow class. If you need a bow class. Boo! Tell me if you need a bow class, and we'll put it on the schedule. Or if you need a refresher, we can do that too. But I did not pre-tie the bows this time. You're on your own, guys, but I sent you our kit has 4 yards of this spectacular ribbon. This one I tied a double. Those 2 of those have triples. Here's a double. And here's our final card from this kit. You get the rhinestones, you get the ribbon, you get the glitter card, you get the cardstock. Excuse me, you get the kit if you buy the one with the kit. Many of you have the Crafty Gans. If you didn't want the kit, you did have the option to buy it with or without the kit. You get the glitter paper. You get the foam squares. It's a fun kit and a great price. Do you know I only charged $12 for this kit this time? It makes 5 cards for $12. What a deal! Okay. I'm not sure where these are going to fall in the schedule yet. One of these is going to be next Thursday. I'm not sure which. Here's one of my favorite kits. The Stag shaker card. 6x6 shaker card. It's beautiful. Smart. You get the confetti. You get the shaker tape. You get the card blanks. If you buy it that way, you get the kit. How gorgeous is that?
And
Can you imagine?
acetate.
Huh?
You've got
Oh yeah, you get the
acetate.
snowfall acetate. Yep, you sure do. Gorgeous. Here's the next one. You get the Rainbow Mary. I did some fun glittering techniques on this, so it'll be fun to share with you. Hello, Juanita. Welcome. So I did some fun glittering techniques in here in the snow. I'll share that with you. I did just some very subtle glittering in the background of the Stag. Is he gorgeous? Oh. And then just for fun, because I wanted to. They had them sitting here. I put rhinestones, iridescent rhinestones to match the iridescent Mary. And the stones I put on here, I put them up the margin. Oh my gosh, I love these. This is my favorite from the set. Look at him. How gorgeous is that? Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. Now, can you think, there's nobody you couldn't give this card to. If you have somebody in your life who's a hunter, they're going to look at it one way, and might look at it a different way, but they're still going to love it. If you have if you need a masculine card, if you want a feminine card, it is just spectacular. You get 3 cards from this kit with all of the fanciness that goes with them in our card kit. Ah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, next up. I can't tell you exactly what day yet, but they'll be up on the website in the next 24 hours. I think Brittany assures me that all the kits are getting done today.
Almost done.
This,
I have 2
what?
of them.
Oh, Brittany has 2 of them done now. Okay, this is that one, the cow one, that utterly wonderful Christmas. Here's another shaker. I can't help it, guys. I love shakers in snow scenes because they're just perfect. So we have this one says party till the cows come home. It has another piece of that spectacular ribbon. Got the snowfall acetate. You get everything in the kit. Here is my gatefold card. Now you guys, most of you already have the inserts. I do not. Because we sold so many of the Craftiganza kits, Brittany said, Aunt Debbie, keep your hands off the inserts. Because we only had like 3 of them left. I have more that will be coming, but I don't have them here yet. So I did not put inserts in my cards. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have the soft image of these cows on the inside of this card, though? Mine is blank. I'm waiting for inserts. But I want to show you what I did that's really fun, and I hope you can see it in your camera. I took Nouveau drops and I put them on the light bulbs. And this is a totally satisfying card to touch. Those little dots make it very tactile. It's just satisfying. And I love, love, love the way it brought out the color in the light bulbs and adding dimension to it. What fun. I'm not sure yet what color the light bulbs are going to be. I can tell you what I used. But we're going to use whatever we have available downstairs in the kits. What I used was some that I had in my drawer here. And that these are softer colors, I think, than what you probably will get in the kits. I think either way they're going to be spectacular. But the ones I happen to have used, this one is called Strawberry Coolest. I did not use the green. I used the red, the yellow, and the blue. The yellow is kind of a soft banana sort of color, and it's called Limoncello. And the blue is called Sea Breeze. Now, if you buy the kit from this, you're going to get the Nouveau drops in the kit, but you're going to get what we have. So your colors may vary a little bit from these because, like I said, I just went to I didn't pay attention to what I had in inventory. I was creating, guys. I can't be bothered with that stuff. Brittany's over there shaking her head at me because that's one of the things that she chides me for is I don't pay attention to what I have in inventory and I just get busy. But you are going to be able to make your light bulbs beautiful too if you get the kit. If you don't get the kit, yes, Brenda, I will put a list of the materials used on the website so that you can look through your own stash because that's always a goal for me. If you can use what you've got, that's perfect. So we have that one, and then here's the last one. This one says, wishing you a Christmas like no other. And again, I've got Nouveau on the light bulbs because after I did it once, I just had to. It just had to be done, guys, because they were wonderful. This is the only one that doesn't have it, and that's because it's inside the shaker. I didn't want to put anything inside the shaker that was going to interfere with the movement of the confetti inside. So there we go. That's that one. Next. You guys thought I was kidding about how many I had. My goodness. All right. This one is from the Christmas Sparkle Kit. I got 6 cards from one kit. Yes, count them, 6. You get that beautiful ribbon again. Holy cow, that's beautiful. There's a triple tied here. Again, if you haven't taken our bow class yet, it's a great time to take it. Here's another triple. This time I wrap the ribbon around the card also. Aren't those pretty? Love them. Next up, these are the packages. This was my first experience with the Nouveau drops, and I learned on here. Yours will be better than mine because I did not realize that I couldn't put down 3 distinct drops without having them meld into one. So I kind of have a little blob of red here. Yours will be better because you'll know that if you want to put Nouveau on, you have to separate them a bit, or you have to let one layer dry before you put in the next. But there's my packages. This one says Deck the Halls. This one's the same packages. Use a few little red jewel dazzles over here and just Season's Greetings. It's simple, but it's beautiful. I love it. Here's like a window frame kind of card. And this one says especially for you, and it's the packages. The reason I was able to get 4 cards out of this set is that, remember what we talked about? That 1 sheet of Adorable Scoreable equals 4 A6 cards. Here's your A6. I don't think I can hold enough to get them all up there, but here's my A6 cardstock.
Oh, you almost got it.
Here's my A6 cardstock cut up to be my background. And you'll notice I have no toppers on these. The card itself was so pretty, I didn't see any reason not to just use those as a card. So we have 6 cards from one set. Woohoo! Next, we have, love these two. We have the white Christmas trees. This is from the winter set. Look at that. Just look at that sparkle. Yes, you get the glitter in your kit. I used with this one, if you already have the glitter, you already have the kit. I used my Quickie glue pen to get my sparkle effects. I love this pen. I can't tell you yet whether we're going to include this, so wait just a little bit before, well, you got to wait to order them anyway. But don't just run out and buy this pen. If you're buying the kit, we might include it if I have room in the price without making the kit too expensive, because I know I just got a bunch of these in, so we might. But how cool is that with the glitter technique? It's yummy. Now this one, I have to say, when I first looked at this one, I thought, oh, that's kind of bland because they put a white tree on a white card. I hope you can see on camera how elegant this becomes when I put ice in these trees off to the side and then I really sparkled the heck out of that tree in the middle. It's gorgeous now. It really makes it jump off the page. And I thought it would be fun just because I like the message of it. I put the star, there's a star circle, a button topper. I put the star here and put a jewel in the center of it over the Christmas tree. I just liked the message. It just made me happy, so I did it. And Kim, I'm using our ultra fine glitter. If you don't have it, you want it. I'm just telling you, if you get the kits, you're going to get it. But I love our ultra fine, super quality glitter. It's almost a powder. And it is just so gorgeous for snow. And then we use some Merry Christmas stickers and some trees. And I happen to know, because Brittany and I just talked about it, that you're going to get a half a page of these stickers. You're going to get way more than you need for this card. But just as an extra little value added. And wait till you see this one. Here we go. I like these new cards, can you tell? Here is my center step easel card. But I made a shaker and I put on it. This one's a shaker card inside. And I put all the beautiful jewels on it. Now again, Brittany wouldn't let me have inserts. Mean Brittany. She wouldn't let me have the inserts. So after I built my easel, I took a scrap of my extra paper. I used one of my borders. And I put one of my Easy Peely stickers in here, and I think this actually turned out gorgeous, despite the fact that I didn't have the pretty insert to use. And I made my stopper out of that border. But how gorgeous is that? Oh, so pretty. We have white and iridescent silver confetti inside these. And you'll get a little mixed up bag of confetti. Or you can buy it in the Nouveau confettis. That's what they are. They're Nouveau confettis in our store. What do you think? Does the glitter shed? You know, all glitter that's added is going to shed a little bit. But if you do a good job of brushing it off, it's going to shed very little. I
have some that I did a year ago with this glitter, and it stayed on.
The glitter really is extremely high quality, and because it's so super fine, it's not like it gets knocked off easily.
Kim, if you use the stamping class with the gilding flake and the ink, that one was the same fine glitter.
Oh yeah. Did you hear Margie? Kim, this has the same glitter that we used in the stamping class. When we made the green Christmas tree with the glitter. Okay. Well, we need to get you some of that, because how gorgeous is that? This is the last of them, guys, for now. I do have a couple more kits ready to go, and those are going to be in the download. All you guys that bought your card kits from us are going to get those for free. As soon as I have the downloads ready, I'm going to tell you about them, and you are going to be able to download those on your own computer and watch them at your leisure for the extra kits. I am now done with what I'm going to do publicly for the winter and for the sparkle classes. But those of you who are our purchasers of these kits are going to get the downloads to be able to see the rest of the cards. So, yay! I received a pretty card from a relative. Glitter was all over the place. Hate that. This is not going to be like that. I think once you brush it off good, and I do mean, it's going to come off when it's loose, but then brush it off really good, and you're not going to get a ton of shedding. You really won't. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Where can I get that kit? Juanita, are you on our newsletter list? If you are not on our newsletter list, we need to get you onto our newsletter, and then you will know both where to get the kits, and you will know the scheduling of the classes. So anybody who's new and is not yet on that newsletter, be sure you get on the newsletter, because this time of year when we have videos coming out left and right, you are not going to want to miss it. So, and each of these that I just showed you is going to be its own class too. That's why we're doing Thursday and Saturday as Hunkydory classes for the next couple weeks. One of these is going to be Thursday's class. I'll know today which one's which. And this is our Thursday, Saturday classes for the next 3 weeks or so. So we'll get these put up, and you will be able to purchase them and have them in plenty of time to be able to work along too, which I'm also very pleased with. I know that after I took time off for taxes, we've been cutting it really close with getting the videos done or getting the kits done in time for you to have the videos. Now you're going to be able to buy in advance and have your kits there and ready to go. And if you don't want to repurchase because you already got the big Craftaganza kit, we have versions of the kits that are available that you just are getting the add-on supplies. So if you like what I'm doing with them and want to be able to do that same thing, you can get just the add-on kit without the topper set if you want to. Or you can order ours, do the topper set, and then do another set with your own. I saw somebody who came in and bought one of each of the poinsettias. In fact, a couple people did that. They bought the poinsettia kit, and then they bought the poinsettia add-on so they'd have an extra set to do the kit they already had. So that's another option for you guys. I am being told by my husband, who just came to the door, say goodnight, Gracie, because I'm way over today. So I'm going to say, good night, Gracie. I love you guys. Thanks for being there. And we will see you hopefully on Saturday when we do Poinsettia Promise. Yay! Thumbs up, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you haven't done it already, okay? Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.